How are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
Good, doing well.
Enjoying this beautiful summer weather in
Yeah,
Cleveland,
a
Ohio?
little bit hot out here today, a little bit humid, but it's good.
It's
Yeah,
right?
I'll
Gotta
take
go
the
to Jacksonville.
take the sun any day around here. You know, to the cloudy days. So
Hey, we're talking to AJ Green, I think, today. I'm just curious I know he played a little bit last year, and I'm just curious what you've seen from him.
yeah, I think AJ's done well for us. You know, came in as an undrafted free agent. I think the thing that really sticks out to me with AJ is really his ability to, go in and learn, and the situation's never too big for him. There's been a couple times when we've had DBs down, and he jumps into the game, and does it at a high level. You know, plays against top level guys, and I think he's very diligent, very coachable. You tell somebody else something, he's going to learn it. You coach him, you really only have to tell him something once, and he's going to be able to go out and get it done. And then he's been able to compete at a high level. So we've been giving him snaps outside and inside, and he's handled those pretty well.
You had so many combinations you were forced to use last year because of circumstances, whether it was COVID or injury or whatever. At the time, I'm sure it was challenging and not the easiest thing to go through. But how much does that experience last year benefit you going into this year with your guy?
Right. So I think last year we ended up having 13 DBs play. I went back and looked at that, which was really, you don't normally see that year in, year out. That is something that I think is going to benefit us, that experience, having those guys that have been in those critical situations that have been able to perform at a high level. But it's really the dynamic of the room, kind of our culture in the room is, we're trying to get everybody prepared, and we believe in the guys that we have in our room. They're there for a reason, and we're going to try to coach them up so that they can go out there and be successful. And it's been positive for us.
Kind of piggybacking on Daryl's thing. I mean, I think AJ is a good example, and even Ronnie is your number 3 safety of the depth that you have in the back end. How good do you feel about that?
Yeah, I like our room. You mentioned those two guys are good players for us that have played significant snaps for us, and I think that's just really who we want to be on defense. I think the DB bodies kind of affords you, having speed on the field, and that's what Coach Woods wants, and we try to, design those personnel packages where we can get those guys out on the field, and so that's something that we've done with Ronnie. Last year where we played 2-3 safety systems and been able to do that, but just those those guys that are fast, we take a high priority in those guys.
Greg Newsom going into his second year, have you seen him improve his preparation? And just wondering, maybe you could give an example of something he's doing now that he wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and I've told him this, as a rookie, I've been around some really good players. Xavier Woods as a rookie, Trey Waynes, Mike Hughes, these are all first-round picks, and he really stands out to me, his ability to learn. He learned multiple positions for us last year at corner and nickel, and I think that's something that I haven't seen a lot of corners be able to do. He's extremely intelligent, very focused. Football is very important to him, so I spend a lot of time with it. And him being able to do that and do it at a high level as a rookie is, to his credit, because I haven't seen a lot of people be able to do that. Moving on, my my message to him was, where's the next step? And I think he aspires to a lot, and I think he can get there, but he is a very diligent worker, and you see the same type of work ethic this year that you've seen last year. So
Spending more time, or what do you think?
yeah, he does
Taking
spend.
notes,
No, he's very active in the room. Asks a lot of good questions, but as you can see, any time he's always looking for an opportunity to get better. He's always with Coach Lynch, and any downtime we're trying to use that opportunity to try to benefit his game, and he's really bought into that and really seen a lot of success from that.
Is there a
Jeff,
specific?
we haven't seen Denzel obviously in camp so far, but he's coming off a terrific season. Does he have another level that he can get through? And if so, why do you see that?
Yeah, Denzel aspires to a lot. I think, he can get there. Like you said, I think last year he put a lot of good stuff on tape. I think coming into this year, I think we're gonna see another level of confidence and step in his game, and I think although he has been injured, he's just another one in the room very focused. When he comes out here, he's always stacking where he would be, and then trying to use that negative and turn it into a positive. I think he had a really good offseason. You know, he was here every single day, made a lot of productive plays for us, and I know he aspires to be, you know, one of the best in the game. And I think, you know, we'll probably see another jump in his play. I'm really excited for, you know, Denzel this year.
Last season, he was mostly healthy. It seemed like he was gaining confidence over the course of the year. Do you feel like off that, you know, once he's out here, we're going to see that confidence really translate?
Yeah,
this season?
I think you're going to see confidence in people that were out here in OTAs. I think you already started seeing it. He's a very confident guy, in the roles that we've asked him to play. He's been in our, you know, we asked when we first came here, we really changed a lot of his technique stuff, and you know, he's had 2 years of being able to do it and do it at a high level against a high level competition, and I think that just breeds more confidence. I was talking to him today. We were watching a couple clips in the room, just really of you know, his play against like 9 routes in press coverage, and not only is he winning, but who is he winning against? And I think just watching him in succession, he was almost like stood back, like, wow, you know, it just gives you a lot of confidence being able to watch yourself. And I think, you know, he's still hungry to do more.
Where's Greedy Williams at this point? I know it's early in his career, but just where have you seen the growth for him, and where do you feel he needs to kind of take his game?
Yeah, I'm very, very thankful Greedy's here. You know, I thought Greedy was going to have a tremendous year you know, our first year here. He ended up having that injury, but you know, coming back year 2, I thought he played well. He's another guy that aspires to a lot. You know, he wants to be very good. He puts a lot of time into it. Where he's at, I think he's a very reliable guy. I'm very thankful that he's here. It provides a lot of depth for us. He'll be a guy that gets, you know, he'll get a lot of snaps for us going into this season.
Is there a specific area with Greg that you focused on from year 1 to year 2 that you want to see him improving?
Right. I think just, you know, getting more snaps in the nickel, you know, it asks you to do different things, you know, where your help is in coverage, being an active tackler. We've really tried to focus in and hone in his play in the slot this offseason.
I know he focuses on the interceptions or the lack thereof. When you watch him, is there something you say, yeah, he should have been doing to get more picks? Or, you know, I mean, I know you guys are so focused on that, so how do you kind of address that?
I think with that, I think plays come to you when you do things correctly. I think when guys start searching and reaching for plays, I think that's when it's not good for the defense, it's not good for the player. I think if you have the right process, you do your job the way that we ask you to do, like plays are going to come to you. And I feel the same way about Greg.
One more thing about AJ Green. Is there something about his athleticism or something that you didn't know that kind of stands out?
Yeah.
What he's able to do?
I think and I always bring it back to the mental part of it, but I think it helps him so much is he's very in tune with his technique, his footwork, and he's trained himself to be to the point where it's very reactionary and it happens quickly for him. But he very has a plan and really goes out and executes it in practice, and then you see it in the games. And I think his ability to rely on what we coach him, and trust in what we coach him is really why he's been able to make so many plays and you know, be a reliable player for us.
When we talk to guys about Martin Emerson, I think it was Joe Wood said he looks like a linebacker. Other people said he looks like a safety out there.
Right.
Have you coached a guy that's sort of built like that with those long arms,
Right.
his size?
You know, I think of Xavier Woods when I think of him. I think his build is a little bit different in the fact that he's a little bit, you know, Xavier had these monster legs that were like almost looked like a running back, but he had those, you know, the 33-inch arms, very long. And it's funny you say that because sometimes like him and Ronnie end up looking very similar when you're out on the field, and it's the difference between 23 and 33. But you know, I think in the DB room you want a little bit of variety in your players. Because you're going to face different types of receivers, and I think, you know, he's obviously has great length, and we're trying to hone him in on his technique so he can use it to help us out.
Hey, Coach. The kid yesterday, D'Anthony Bell, had that pick.
Yeah.
Did you I know you coached in that Shrine game.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that where you bumped into him?
Yeah, it was actually in the Shrine game. He's from West Florida, played at West Florida. I was coaching in the Shrine game, and he was like a late addition. We ended up having a guy get hurt, and he actually came in like a day late. And he really kind of stood out to me, and his ability to like come in and like learn the system a day late. And I kind of started to see who he was. Something that really stands out to me with DeAnthony is how important football is to him. If you look back on his story, he's had to travel a lot of different places, go to a lot of different schools. Going from Georgia to Florida, all the way to Iowa. When I see that scouting a guy, everybody's going to tell you how important football is to him, but when you have a little bit of that story in you, I think it really tells that. And you can really, he's very coachable. Stays after. I meet with him probably as much as anybody, and it's kind of cool when you go through all the meetings, all the walkthroughs, and then you can go out there and go make a play. So I was excited for him to see him do that yesterday.
So in the aftermath of that, you came
Yeah.
back here and said, "Hey, we should take a look at him."
Yeah, through the scouting process, when I was at the East West, he stood out, and when I came back, yeah, absolutely, I talked to our personnel. They asked me about him, and it kind of went from there. And it was one of those guys that we were hoping if he didn't get drafted that we would have an opportunity. So, yeah, glad he's here. Thanks.
You mentioned training camp can be long, and the deeper it gets, it can get a little monotonous. I'm just curious from like the coaching perspective, when do you kind of really get a gauge of what you have going into the season? At what point?
Yeah, I think we're always evaluating. I think that's always the part of the process, and so, these practices are important. We're evaluating those. The message to the guys is we want to compete. We want to compete at a high level, and every time we go out there, we're trying to be the best and choke out what the receivers are doing. I'm not set in stone. Like the depth chart is a moving, it's a moving piece, and we're going to continue to, evaluate through camp, these practices, and then through the preseason games to see what we have.
You mentioned AJ getting reps in the slot. Who do you think are the top options after Frank?
We're working a lot of different guys. I think that's something what's been great about, working with Coach Woods is what we try to do is try to teach all the guys the positions so that they can feel them out and get reps with different guys. So then at the end of it, at the end of preseason, we could sit back and be like, hey, these are our top options. But really trying to get as many reps to as many different guys in those positions, which is different than a lot of places because most, you go most places and they're like, here's the nickels, here are the outside corners. But, the positionless defense is something that we're trying to we kind of aspire to try to get the best 11 on the field.
I got one more on Greg. I talked to him yesterday. He's not afraid to talk about wanting to be an elite guy and one of the best. How obvious is that to you as his coach, and kind of how does that show up?
Honestly, that's been my message to the whole room ever since I've been here is, like, if you're in the NFL, we're aspiring to be the best. And they've all bought into it. And we're trying to go out there and prove it every single day. And we realize that it's more about our actions than our words. And we're going to really try to go out and do that. So him, all the rest of the guys, like, that's what they aspire to. And we're going to try to work to hopefully be able to get there.
I wanted to ask you about Ronnie coming back on a one-year deal. Did you get any sense he's trying to prove something this season?
Right. I think Ronnie's always, inspiring the way that he plays the game. He loves the game, and there's probably an extra chip on his shoulder, and he's hungry. He's out there playing fast, having fun, and it's really the same Ronnie that we've had the last 2 years.
How about Grant? We saw that was the first year, obviously, he played a bunch last year. What kind of improvement did you see throughout last season, and what do you think you can expect going forward this year?
Yeah, I kind of take Grant's year last year as really his rookie year, just because of the injury the year before. And so, he made some good plays for us. There's some things to learn from. Just really excited for him, just being able to be in the system for another year. I think his reactions are a lot quicker. I think he started seeing that in OTAs, playing with trust there in the back end with JJ, just their ability to pass things off. And you know, he made some good plays for us in the spring, and I really think that we're going to see a lot of that moving forward.